Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his good friend Dion from Dion Talk. How you doing, buddy?
Howdy, doing great. I'm glad I get to talk to you, I think 6 times on a Thursday. Ready
Yeah.
for round 3.
That's awesome, man. So, hey, I don't know if you saw this daily financial news this morning, but I talked about Jamie Dimon, where he said an economic hurricane is on the horizon. He's basically saying, buckle up, it's going to get bumpy. Don't know if it's a little hurricane or a nasty one, but it's coming. Then we have the CEO of Bank of America, Brian Moynihan, basically poking fun at Jamie Dimon, saying, Jamie, we have hurricanes all the time. What are you talking about? So as I look at that, I really see, frankly, the CEO of Bank of America living on what I call hopium. Basically, you're hoping everything is going to be right. I see a lot of people hoping the Fed pauses, hoping the stock market goes back up, hoping real estate crashes. There's just a lot of hope because I don't know if people feel like they missed the boat or something, but hopium is very dangerous in my opinion. So I thought you and I should talk about it. I'm sure we see it all the time, but what does hopium mean to you?
Poor planning.
Yeah.
So we want to have hope.
Mm-hmm.
When you start the path to financial freedom, we hope we get there. So you have to find the path that works for you. You have to find the path that works in the market you're in. You have to find the path that works in what's going on with the economy when you start your journey. So having a plan for multiple outcomes is the way to avoid getting caught living on hopium. Because if you get caught living on hopium, where it had to go a certain way for you to be successful, and if it doesn't go that way, you absolutely fail, that's a mistake. But if we go, I hope there's a crash. I would love a housing crash to come. We've said that many times. For 2 years, we've been saying there isn't a crash coming, but we hope there would be. Everybody who's attacking us saying that, there should be a crash coming because of all these reasons that didn't line up to a crash. We said, we agree. We hope there's a crash. Here's what I'm doing when there isn't one. Yeah. Here's what I would do if there is one. So we have a plan for both outcomes. And that's what I'm hoping that people do, instead of saying, I hope there's a crash so I can buy on when properties are on sale. Would you? Would you think it's going to keep going down? You don't want to catch a falling knife. Would you be able to secure lending? Would you, would you understand the market? Because if you took 6 months to sit back and wait for the crash, you haven't been tracking what rents are. You haven't been tracking what rates and prices are going to give you your yield. You have all these things you have to learn. And by the time you learn it, the market's changed instead of doing the work every day. So to me, that's the problem with hopium.
Yeah, I love how you kind of break this down as a teacher. It's definitely your skill set. I think you're right. I think hopium, I go back to the very beginning, right? Suffering $150,000 loss. I can still remember walking through Borders bookstore on Stevens Creek and finding that purple book that changed my life. And you're right. It does start with hopium or hope. But it ended there, right? It's like, okay, this is the journey I'm in. We bought Norris Drive and we just buckled up, right? We kept doing the work. We kept going after it. Where I think hopium is so dangerous is really twofold. There are people today that are in the same situation I was in before, where you made a bet and it's losing. You're down 50, 60, 70, 80%. You are holding on with your fingernails, hoping beyond hope that the Fed does pivots dramatically, that somebody buys it or whatever that is. And the odds are not stacked in your favor. Maybe it's 1, 2, 3% odds that this comes back. Where in reality, you need to do what I did. You need to throw that out the window. You need to suffer your loss. You need to recognize it. You need to learn the lesson. You need to know what you did wrong. And maybe the answer is, you know what? In my case, the stock market wasn't for me. I didn't have time to learn the rules in the game. So I had to go figure something else out. Hence the purple book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Go Buy a Rental House. Because I could learn it. It was a repeatable process. It's an inefficient market, right? I don't like when I hear people that are down 80% on something that could literally go to zero and they're just hoping. And then second, I believe hopium is most dangerous when it's not backed up with activity, right? I see the comments. My channel is still small enough where I interact with every comment. And also I block, I don't know where all these freaking bots are coming from with Bitcoin and stuff, but I try to block them all. But anyways, I digress. It's hard. But the people that are hoping for this or that, but then don't do the daily work, that drives me nuts. I think we're in a housing crash right now, which means, Dion, I am doing my work more than I did last year because I am looking for that 1 or 2 opportunities to do a great deal, right? I could do an opportunity at list price if I got terms, right? The people that will win in this environment that we are in are the people that do the work. If you are sitting on your couch, eating popcorn, watching the crash videos and going, yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait till so-and-so tells me we're at the bottom. I'm ready. First off, how are they going to know the bottom? They live in their mom's basement, play with charts all day long. They've never had a different opinion, right? Go do your own thing. Depend on yourself. Do your work. Have a buy box. So yeah, Hopium that's with no activity is dangerous.
Here's what I've done to take hope out of the equation. So I have the smallest chance of ever getting caught living on Hopium. My original plan after high school was 20 years Marine Corps, 20 years law enforcement, retire with 2 pensions. Neither one of those worked out. After Desert Storm, the Marine Corps downsized. In 2008, law enforcement, recession hits, department shrink. I get into real estate and my throat's closing up because I want to share a story which I haven't shared before. And I don't even know if I can. I started investing in real estate. I started making more money at the truck driving school that I run. I started thinking I was bulletproof. My rentals are cash flowing. My trucking school is exploding. My idea that I had about this nonprofit is exploding the truck driving school. I must be able to succeed in business. I had saved up about $200,000, which would have been 2 or 3 duplexes. This is between 2015 and 2018. Should have bought duplexes. But since I'm bulletproof and I think things just work out for me, which they hadn't for the first 40 years of life. Don't know why it would have shifted. I try to help some friends. I had 1, 2, 3 guys working for our truck driving school that I wanted to help build a retirement for. So I took $100,000 and I started a flatbed trucking company. And I thought, I run a truck driving school. I have access to students that other trucking companies don't have. So I have drivers. There's a driver shortage going on. I'm going to grow a great company. I'm going to grow it. These guys are going to help me and I'm going to give them each 10% so they'll have a retirement in this company. No investment on their part other than their time. Start the business. I burn through another $100,000. We're doing drivers on overtime. We're doing routes wrong. I'm not running the day-to-day. I'm running the truck driving school and my rentals. I hire people, which was my mistake. I hoped the business would work to help my friends have a retirement. When I got close to that 200,000, I said, that's how much I can handle to lose. Had to shut the business down. I hoped for it to work, right? There was all these things that could work that couldn't work. In real estate, I've removed the hope. The people who say, I hope there's a crash so those greedy people can lose money. Well, in 2008, when there was a crash, the buy and hold investors made out like bandits because rents went up, demand for their rentals went up. If they had fixed rate debt, which is what we have now, their rates didn't change, their mortgage payments didn't change. I'm a little conservative on leverage. I probably should be a little more leveraged, but I can handle a 50% rent drop without reaching into my pocket. And since we've started tracking the data since 1914, there has never been a market-wide rent drop. In 2009, Class A dropped enough to make it look like a rent drop, but Class C, where I invest, and Class B didn't drop, hasn't dropped since 1914 as a broad market. So I'm planning for a 50% rent drop. I've never seen even a 5 or 10% rent drop. I've seen rents increases during recessions or during the housing crash, rents increased. I have fixed rate debt. To be financially free, I'm about 5 times the multiplier on cash flow coming in on what I need. There is no hope. I don't need hope. I have removed all of the elements that can make things go wrong to the point where, and this is the worst sentence to ever say, I would have to go back to work.
Yeah.
Like that's our worst case scenario is a lot of people's best case every day.
Yeah.
So there was an overshare for you.
No, I love that. And again, Hopium without action is very dangerous. And I'm afraid right now there's a lot of people on YouTube University who are interested in real estate, hoping for a crash and doing nothing. That combination is terrible. You can hope for a crash, fine. You can watch those videos, but if you are not excited by the crash in transactions that we are going through right now, you are not paying attention. Buyers have disappeared. Sellers have FOMO. It is the time to do your homework. It will take you 60 or 90 days to get ready. If you are waiting for some bottom and then you get ready, you're going to be late. The bottom will happen in a moment. When I wrote about it in my first book, out of nowhere, Wall Street came in and changed the game. I was finding lists every Monday, 9 o'clock, it would be populated. By 10:30, I would have a couple of offers. And I did this week after week after week. And then suddenly the world was over. Everything jumped 20 or 30% like that because Wall Street was buying. So folks, Hopium is fine to get started. You kind of need that to believe this journey. Because again, we talk about 10 years to make work optional. You certainly need hope to begin. But at some point, if you're listening to me or Dion, we are men of action, and it's daily discipline and it's focus. So please use this crash to your advantage. Get a great deal. If you can get more than one, get two. Let's go. Dion, where can people find you?
They can find me right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom. And the reason we make our content is because there's one more level of Hopium that would be terrifying. If you're the person you talked about that would hope for a crash, is taking no action, and you're living on Hopium, how scary is it that you hope you don't lose your job?
Ooh.
When somebody who has several cash flowing assets and is using this current crash to buy more cash flowing assets, in my position, hopes to get fired.
Yeah, I want a package.
Right.
Oh, that's amazing, Dion. Thank you for that. We will talk to you later with the Three Amigos. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Mike. Ciao.
Uh-huh.